Hello, welcome to this edition of Momentum. I'm Robert Green, your host for today's show. Happy to have with us today Dr. Tommy Anderson. Dr. Anderson is Dean of the Judy and Bobby Shackouls Honors College and also a professor of English. Dr. Anderson, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Glad to have you here. Been trying to get you here for a while and glad we were able to get the schedule worked out.
Well, I appreciate the time to talk with you
Sure.
about honors and engineering.
Absolutely. I'd like to start a little bit, sort of give us your educational background and how did you come to be at Mississippi State and become Dean of the Honors College?
Well, my first job, I came here from Southern New Hampshire University. That was my first job out of graduate school. It was a teaching position basically in New Hampshire where I taught Shakespeare and composition. Loved it up there. It was a little cold for my wife, Shelley, who works in the College of Engineering. Yeah. And so I was lucky enough to see the Shakespeare position open up here and get the job here. But before New Hampshire, I got the PhD from Vanderbilt in Shakespeare, early modern literature, critical theory. And before that, I was at Penn State for 2 years working on a master's degree. But before all that fun, I was actually a middle school English teacher for 6 years before I went back to grad school to earn the degrees that got me here.
So did teaching 8th grade push you into graduate school or encourage you to graduate school?
Well, it results in the hair loss that you see today. 8th grade was a great experience. It really inspired me to keep reading, and I needed to be, you know, even in front of 8th graders, I wanted to be an expert in what I was teaching.
Right.
And I realized that that was something that really motivated me. So I taught 6 years there and then went back.
Well, you've held several positions here, professor of English and recently interim dean of libraries until we were able to find a permanent dean. What was it that attracted you to the Honors College? Because I know you were involved with them before you became dean.
Yeah, I've been with the Honors College as a faculty member or an administrator in some capacity for probably 15 of my 20 years at Mississippi State. And what attracts me to that place is really the students. I just really love teaching and being a part of the community of students there. And like in thinking about ways to maximize their time here, working in partnerships with units like engineering, arts and science, whatever, units that are interested in undergraduate education. I just love thinking about ways to create opportunities in partnership with other units that can really transform the undergraduate experience at this university. And so it's the students that keep me attracted to that place. I've got a great staff, great faculty, but I work there and I work every day hard because those students are amazing.
Yeah. Well, what exactly is the purpose of the Honors College? Why do we have one with all the other colleges we have?
That's a great question. The purpose of the Honors College, in my mind, is to make the undergraduate experience at Mississippi State truly transformative. You know, at an R1 institution, sometimes you run the risk of undergraduate education losing focus, you know. And so the Honors College is able to make the undergraduate experience its core principal objective, make that experience transformational for every student who joins. And so its purpose is to create opportunity that can change a student's life or, you know, confirm a path or a trajectory that they thought they wanted to do, help confirm it. It really is, its purpose is to focus on undergraduate education.
Okay. How many students are in the Honors College?
About 2,400 students.
Okay, how many of those are engineering students?
1,036. I checked yesterday. It's an amazingly high percentage. It's over 40% of our honor students are engineers, which speaks highly to the kind of work you all are doing in Bagley.
Well, thanks for that. But so any other reasons you think it just attracts so many engineering students to the Honors College?
Well, yes. So engineering students interested in Bagley are already high-achieving students coming out of high school. Their GPAs are, on average, quite high, higher than the average, perhaps. Their ACTs are already outstanding, and they come already kind of driven to engage in inquiry like research, and they understand the value of collaborative learning. So I think it's no secret, it's no kind of like a mystery why they gravitate toward the Honors College that values those same things as well.
One of the questions I commonly get, particularly during orientation from our entering students in engineering is, why would I want to be in the Honors College? I'm already going to be taking difficult courses. Why would I want to also join the Honors College and take even more challenging courses? What's a good response to give to them?
Well, it's a fair question, but it's a misunderstanding at its core. It kind of misunderstands what the honors experience at the university can be. It is true that some of the courses might ask for more and might be harder. It's absolutely true that a faculty member in an honors course might want to push the honors students to a new level that's more akin to early graduate work than undergraduate work. So that might be the case. But what we try to do is we try to present those the rigor of an honors course in relation to the passion of the student. So if a student in engineering is taking thermodynamics as an honors section, presumably that student has a passion for deep learning in that discipline. So the more becomes also therefore kind of a better, more exciting, more connected to a professional future. The more doesn't have to be just harder. It can be, so in an ideal world, it can be innovative application of the knowledge that students are deep diving in. But I like to think of the more as more connected to the passion of the student. If we do our job right, if we offer a wide array of honors courses, that can happen. Now, it's true. Some courses will just be harder. And that's okay too. Students have to learn to navigate those kind of like difference in pedagogical expectation. But for me, as the dean, I like to think of them more as more deeply connected to your intellectual trajectory, your passion, and your future.
I like that idea that it's more, not just harder. But we've been talking about courses somewhat, and I know the Honors College has a lot more to offer than simply courses. So what are some of the other things students from engineering and other colleges could get out of being part of the Honors College?
Yeah, so they have the chance to participate in two types of curricular pathways, and we can talk about that a little later. But so we have curricular options. We have mentorship with faculty who will know the students' names, their dreams and ambitions, because our class size in certain courses is quite small. We have honors dedicated faculty whose job it is to mentor students to the next level, to where they want to go. So they get mentorship, they get small classes, they get the potential to live in a living learning community where they can roll out of bed and knock on my door. The dean's office is right there in their residential hall. They can knock on the Office of Prestigious External Scholarships door. Dr. Hoffman's office is right there in their living learning community. The Director of Undergraduate Research, Dr. Elder's office, is right there in their space. So they get proximity to mentors who are interested in providing them opportunities, and opportunities that I imagine they didn't know existed when they entered MSU as freshmen. So small classes, mentorship, access to opportunity, and we have study abroad financial support. I know that study abroad is a priority for the college, the Bagley College of Engineering, and Honors is a unit that supports the study abroad opportunities that you all love. Germany, France, and chemistry, Iceland. We also have our own study abroad program at Oxford that we financially support. So there's a financial reason to join Honors if you want to have an experience that might not otherwise be available. We also support research with financial stipends that help support summer projects or conference travel during the academic year. So if a student is really looking for a way to intellectually grow in a space that nurtures inquiry, collaborative or individual inquiry, that has access to mentors that'll be able to write them letters of recommendation that are deeply meaningful because you get to know those faculty over time, and that can only amplify the deep professional development that goes on in the College of Engineering. It doesn't distract or intrude, it amplifies that experience. Then the Honors College is a great partner for students in Bagley. I like to think of it this way. What goes on up the hill meaning on the core campus, right, is a deep professionalization, preparing students for the deep immersion in a career. What goes on in Honors is a broader kind of a broader experience with ideas that allows those students to kind of to stay immersed in philosophy, literature, art, to kind of become to earn kind of a minor in the liberal arts if they want. So you get the deep immersion and professionalization up the hill. And then you can kind of apply it to broader questions about what it means to be human in the Honors College. It's that relationship with professional drive and then broad human application.
Well, I think you may have just sold some of our prospective students watching this on the Honors College.
That's good.
So how do they go about applying to the Honors College and getting into it?
The application is on their MyState portal, so it's easy. And it's a holistic review. So we do have, for new students, 3.75 GPA. There's no minimum ACT. But if a student doesn't meet that GPA requirement, they can still apply, and please make the case to join the community, because we do look at student holistically. Certain students who have a certain GPA and ACT will be invited to join the Honors College, and they just need to open that email and accept the invitation, and then they're part of the community. So it's really it's woven into the fabric of the normal application process.
Okay. Well, about another minute or so left. I know Dr. Elder just worked on, as part of the Honors College, sponsoring the Undergraduate Research Symposium that was well attended. How did that go? That
was a great event. 270 plus posters or presentations from students from every college, all majors, almost all majors. Faculty, over 2 days, faculty are asking students to talk to me about your research. So if you walked through the union where all these posters were set up, you heard students talking about their ideas that they developed with faculty and many engineers. I should have the exact number of engineers who presented. You may know, but it was a great day. And I only imagine that that's going to get bigger, larger, and more impactful as the Office of Undergraduate Research expands its kind of commitment to research across all units and not solely within the Honors College.
Yeah, I think we had something like 64 engineering students in all areas, both the biological sciences and engineering, physical sciences and engineering, but we also had some projects in humanities and social science by
I love that. That's the beauty of those days on campus.
Yeah, well, it's certainly an important part of the college, and I think I need to point out that it's the Judy and Bobby Shackouls Honors College. The Shackouls endowed the college a few years ago, and of course Bobby Shackouls is one of our great alumni from the Bagley College. So I think that shows a lot about the importance of your college to engineering based on their endowment. Any quick closing remarks?
No. Bobby Shackouls' vision, Bobby and Judy's vision was to kind of create opportunities for engineers to grow outside of the rigor of their curriculum, and I think the Honors College is working hard to fulfill that mission. We're so grateful to have them as benefactors. Well,
we're grateful to have you as Dean of the Honors College, Dr. Anderson. Appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Thank you all for taking time to join us, and I look forward to seeing you on our next edition of Momentum.